actually talking about Shane's new CD, and I have a burning question for you. What song resonates the most with you on this collection of work, and why?
Okay, what resonates with me right now is what's happening right now. Bring our troops home safely. And I had a vision about this, that all the fighting and the warring and all, these troops, these people's sons, these mothers and fathers' sons need to come home and stop all the warring. So this song came about when I was visiting in the United Kingdom. I was at King Arthur's castle, at Cook's Kitchen, and I was channeling this song. It's not my song, it just came through me. Nothing like this ever happened in my life. I'm gifted, I understand I have a God-given talent, but I've never channeled like this. And this song, it was like in a Gaelic accent that I was singing with a group of spiritual healers, and it's called Home. And we started it by just chanting Om. And so
I think we're going to have our producer cue it up, and we can listen to
Absolutely.
it a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Wow, that is just so touching. It's so emotional. And that drum, what type of drum is that that's being played?
that was a floor tom, and there was a vibration in the land, because I had visited the sites where Stonehenge is, and Salisbury Hill,
Yes.
that's sung in one of Peter Gabriel's songs, and we went to visit King Arthur's castle, the remains of that, and there's a kitchen that's the cook's kitchen, where it was an outdoor area where they had the wood burning stove and the fire pit and the water, and they actually cooked the meals for the men, as they went off to war, and then came up the hills to the very top of that hill where the castle was. And so that's where I got the song, and it was about bringing the troops home. And
I think that it's, it's an absolutely beautiful song. It sounds very, very ancient to me. It has an ancient feel and a sound. And I also, I think that it's relevant to today too. Absolutely what you're saying, whether it's a song that was created with, the era of King Arthur or something for today. I think it's a healing song.
yeah.
And I think that it's an important song. It should be listened to.
Yeah, we all sat in a circle because we felt a vibration there. I probably should be a little more specific because I'm in my creative mind now with the song, and I lose track. I called David Usakinen when I got to the airport in Philadelphia on my way back, and he's a famous drummer with the Hooters band. And I said,
And many
David,
other bands too.
Yeah, very, very multi-talented drummer, exceptional. And I'm like, David, this is Shane. He said, I know. I said, David, I need to meet you in Elm Street Studios. I'll get a call to John Sr. and this song is with me, and this vibration of the land that I feel where I was just visiting. And he's like, I get it. I'm like, seriously, as soon as I get off the plane, I don't want to lose this. It was a vibration. It was like a thing. I felt like I was walking with the angels and was bringing them back with me, and this song needed to be voiced. It needed to be heard. And it was strange because I didn't know, this is not anything like anything that I write. And I still have this type of an accent, a Gaelic accent, that needs to be with the song.
Right.
So I got to the airport, he met me, and went in the studio, and he said, play the piano. I said, I didn't play it, I didn't write it yet, it's just, I could sing it to you. And he said, play it. And then he heard it, and he felt the vibration, and he picked up a floor tom and put it next to me, and he sat next to me, and there it was. It was so amazing to me that I brought this vibe, this like this vibration from that land to America, and I experienced that. He experienced that. John Sr., who's very, very fussy in particular and articulate, he was kind of a little surprised because he's very rigid about how he does his producing. And he kind of just sat back and like, And we all did that. And it was done like in only like 1 or 2 takes.
Wow.
And that was the song.
That's amazing
Yeah,
how
that
that
is.
happens. I mean, that is a gift when it comes that quickly.
And right
It really
now,
is.
that vibration is so strong. I said to Shar, I said, listen, this song, I was hearing it this morning, and it's right with me. It's right with me. So I feel that that's the song. I have a lot of good songs on my album. They were up for, they were submitted for Grammy nomination.
You had 16 nominations this
Yeah,
year?
They were accepted
Oh my
in
goodness.
16 categories.
That's amazing.
They were voting.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
And
Seriously.
Home is one of them in the American Best American Performance. I was just really amazed. But that's a song that needs to be out there. The vibration. So whatever's going on, I feel like it's a protection. It's like it's a godly thing. It's an angel thing to protect our loved ones, bring them home. But it started with us sitting in a circle because we felt this vibration in Cook's kitchen, and all we did were singing and then all of a sudden I get up. I'm like, I was like, it was a force, and it's like, oh, rest ye weary men, we bid thee to come home. And I'm like, who are you? But I couldn't stop, like the way I write. So I didn't stop. It was too much emotion as they were still doing arm around me, and they're going like this, and I started rising up. That was scary. They saw it. I never really spoke about it unless I was speaking to people that
Understood.
because I still don't understand. I was a little off the ground, and I just went up. And oh, now I don't care. That's what it is. It is what it is. And I know you have experiences with spirituality, and you are a visionary, and you're, I don't like to call it psychic because, people get the wrong idea of fortune telling, and there's no fortune to tell. Or I'd have a fortune, right? It doesn't work that way. But healing, when you heal, like you'll feel like the heat, like when you, or prayer, I've seen miracles so many times with prayer. She'll tell you that story. Tell the wind I'm calling. We worked on that together, and that was a process of healing for someone that was in a comatose state. And
Oh my gosh, it was unbelievable.
That's
we actually...
we don't question it anymore.
No, we actually wrote this song for her. She actually came to us while she was out of her body, directing us pretty much to write this song for her, which we fleshed out in like an hour at the most. And there was one little part that we were stuck on, and Shane was here. We were at the piano over here at the other side of the room. And I said, just go home and go to bed. We'll finish it tomorrow. She called me the next morning. She said 3 o'clock in the morning she was awakened by our friend Linda, who said, I'm going to tell you the words that you need to finish this song. Go to your piano. 3 o'clock in the morning she gets up, she goes to her piano, she finishes the song, she goes back to bed. She comes over later that day, played everything, and it was a prayer. It was really a prayer and a song for her. So
and it's funny because she asked me about angels.
Yeah, the first time they met, this is way before she even became ill.
Didn't even know me. She's like, I want to know about angels. I'm like, why do you know?
What do you know about angels, right?
Angels. She didn't even know. I'm like, I know. Okay, yeah.
That is fascinating.
So we created the song, and she was at the point where she could actually receive company in the hospital, but she was barely speaking, and her body was not moving at all. She had Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Okay.
And she could really only communicate by blinking, but we got to the point where she could speak a little bit, so then we were able to go visit with her. So Shane was kind enough to have this mixed, recorded, mastered, the whole shebang. We went in with a CD player, and we took a CD in and we played it for her. And after she listened to it, she cried. We all cried. And then she also said, you're not going to believe this, but the left side of my body, which has not been responding to any kind of treatment, I'm feeling needles and pins.
Wow.
Can you leave the CD with me?
Oh,
And the
wow.
And of
nurses
course.
came in
And they
were-
played it. She played it every day throughout the day. And she said every time she played it, she felt stronger. She was able to start to move her hand and her leg and her foot. And so, I mean, Shane and I know I speak for you, we really do know that music is powerful
It is.
and it's healing.
Mhm.
Because we've witnessed it firsthand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was truly a gift from the heavens that we were able to create that song and give that to her.
And I had no idea that I thought it was just another song I'm getting, but I had no idea I was going to be a part of that healing.
Mhm.
She got the call about her girlfriend. We're at Charlie Brown's having
And dinner.
dinner, and I'm like, wait a minute, we got to pray right now. She's an emergency? No, she's gone. She's going. And I know where she is. She's asking, questioning, like, what is this? What is my life?
What's
Where's I'm
happening,
seeing
right?
it. And so we come home. I hit the piano. She goes, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm like, good. Because I needed to be, it was like the same thing I was drawn.
Right.
Right.
And I started playing this song and getting these words.
And I came downstairs and I told her earlier in the day I'd gone for a walk and I kept hearing these words in my head. Tell the wind I'm calling. And I go, I don't know what that means, but it won't leave me alone. We have
Wow.
to do
I
something.
said, well, that's
with
what I'm
this."
writing down here.
Right.
Mhm.
So I'm upstairs
And I'm
singing
writing
it.
it.
And
That's
she's
amazing.
writing it.
And
Holy
she-
moly.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
See,
it-
but
Yeah.
that's the connection, right? And
Yes.
when you were talking about your song, I had chills, listening to it. I mean, because where, first of all, our intuitive connection to each other,
Mhm.
okay, and then the energy when two or more are gathered,
Yes.
and the energy
Exactly.
We
that's,
always say that.
know,
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
that is put out from that is incredible. And so there's a lot of healing work that is done
Right.
just through those things,
Mhm.
music. It can be chanting, which is sometimes a form of that, depending if
Sure.
you're doing Om and stuff.
Absolutely.
And
So
then
there's a
there's
lot of
signs. And I'm listening to you, but I have to interject this because you don't know this, but before I got here, I went to breakfast
Mhm.
and I went to the diner, the lamppost, which was a Charlie Brown's.
Oh,
Interesting.
no kidding.
So this
I
conversation was
wasn't
going
even
to
full
happen.
circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, full
That
circle.
happens to me all
Yeah.
the time.
Doesn't
If
it?
I
And
had a
lamppost is the
dollar.
light.
Right.
It's like that's like God saying, like laughing, like they're my kids and they're
Yeah.
doing my work. You don't have to be perfect. I am not, or be a saint. That's not going to happen. But just do the right thing and help one another and touch hearts. And I'm glad that you're like I think we were given talents because it was our healing process and our therapy. But if we can use it to help others too, because of
should.
what God gave us,
We should.
He's so happy. He's like, oh my God, like I gave you, it's like being a little kid, like I gave you the brand new bike you always wanted, but you're allowing the rest of other kids that aren't fortunate to ride it and see they're
Yes.
happy too. That makes a dad so, I look at him as my dad. And having, to all of us, and we're just all brothers and sisters, whether you like it or not, we're all going to see each other.
Yeah, and
at
we're
the
all
end
connected.
forever.
We're all connected.
Right.
So we have to help each other now. There's
Yeah.
you can't go there and go, I'm sorry. Don't do that. Have fun.
Fix it and fix it.
And I
Remember
do
the
think,
good times, yeah.
yeah, I do think that creativity, which is a feminine energy, so I guess you could say
Yes.
the feminine part too, which is not
Yeah.
necessarily just, okay, that's female, but everybody has that
You're right.
creativity
It is.
expansion. That part is so important
Mhm.
for communicating and connecting on an intuitive level and on an expansion level and higher awareness. That creativity, which comes through as music and art and writing and poetry and whatever you can think of, and dance, expression,
anything that gives you joy and fills your soul.
Absolutely.
I think we all have male, female
Mhm.
within us because God is male, female. Like water is the feminine, the flow, the fluidity, and then the grounding and the rock and the mountains. That's the hard with the soft. We're the ones that, like, blue is for boys and red is for girls, and we want to divide one another and, combat one another instead of embracing everyone as one. We're all part of each other. We all need each other. And don't break us down like, oh, you have blonde hair and you have, it's just like, hi, how are you? How about that? What's new? How can I help?
I find that today people are just so judgmental, and without even asking a question, it's just a decision is already made about you or your personality. It's just terrible. I mean, ask me.
Right.
Ask me first before you make a decision.
All the flavors and all the colors, what makes the world go round.
Right.
I mean, if you spend a moment, people don't even do this, to really be present when you walk out your front door and just take a moment to look. There's blues and whites and grays and yellows in the sky, and then
probably
on the ground,
colors you've never even noticed before.
Purples. I mean, they're all there, but you don't see them because you're all like here. You're all here. I got to do this. Got to do this. Got to do that. What did this one mean? How did this go? It's like
overanalyzing and being really stuck in, usually stuck in the past. Like I said, I know I was mentioning Joe Dispenza, and I'm working through a lot of his stuff, and we are so stuck either in the past or in the future, anticipating. We've already programmed what's going to happen, what that person's going to say, how that person's going to respond to us, and living in separation when really, nature works in cooperation and unity. So as much as we can push ourselves towards unity, the happier we're going to be. And in that sense, we have to leave some of those preconceived notions behind and leave the past where it is when it's right for us. And that's all evolution, because we have to go through our own demons and our own, emotional evolution to get to that point and get to understand that, So.
Especially if you're the one that tries to want to do the right thing. Right now, there's a lot of negativity in society, and every time you turn the TV on and everything else, that's prevalent. It's affecting everyone, even though they want to say it doesn't.
It does, because it's
and you're
in
going
your
against
face
the
all
grain.
the time. Yeah, it's
when you're
always
doing
there.
the right thing, you're like one against, and you don't mean to be against anyone, but just you have to really realize, myself also included, I just spoke about this, I have to just get, present again, and I have to be calm, and thank God I have a friend that I can talk to honestly, honest, heart to heart. We're not perfect. This is what it is.
No.
Okay, I'll be all right. Thanks.
I also find that meditation is very grounding. It really, if you can shut everything down, you can find some more peace within yourself. I know it has helped me greatly, and I meditate maybe only 10 or 15 minutes a day when I can, but it has made a big difference.
Right. Shutting off the senses, that's because we're so grounded in this physicalness, and as we understand more about science and energy and how there is no space between you and me, we're all in this this cosmic soup, as you call it, or whatever you want to call it, where our energy is being shared, and we're sharing it with other people, and it looks like there's space, and it looks like, but we are mostly empty space, which is really not empty space, but that's a whole other conversation for another day.
We're actually all atoms, but what we see in front of us maybe is not what you or she sees in me and you. How do we know?
Absolutely.
We can describe it the best way, but how do we really know?
So we all have to get on that same vibration so we can really, really communicate with each other. And I think that a lot of people are not on the same vibration today.
We went past the mean on this one. We need a rocket ship.
And you know what? That is going to be what we're going to talk about in our next conversation when we have Shane back.
I can't wait.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Sweet Soul Synergy TV. We hope you enjoyed our show today, and we look forward to the next time. Thank you.